In the heart of ancient Egypt, amidst the grandiosity of its pyramids and the splendor of its palaces, there lived a pharaoh who ruled with absolute authority. His power was unmatched, his word law. Yet beneath the veneer of this majestic kingdom lay a stark reality of oppression and fear, particularly for the Israelites, a people subjected to harsh slavery and brutal treatment. Here I request you to kindly subscribe the channel, if not done earlier. The Pharaoh, paranoid about the growing number of Israelites, decreed that all newborn Hebrew boys were to be killed, a decree that would shape the destiny of one remarkable child. Amidst this climate of terror, a Hebrew woman named Jochebed gave birth to a son. Desperate to save him from certain death, she placed him in a basket made of reeds and set it afloat on the Nile River, entrusting his fate to the waters. By an extraordinary twist of fate, the basket was discovered by Pharaoh's daughter. Moved by compassion, she decided to adopt the child, naming him Moses, meaning drawn out of the water. Raised as a prince in the Egyptian court, Moses enjoyed privileges and education, yet he could never escape the awareness of his true heritage. As Moses grew, so did his internal conflict. The opulence of the palace was a stark contrast to the suffering of his people, and his sense of justice became increasingly pronounced. This inner turmoil reached a boiling point one day when he saw an Egyptian taskmaster savagely beating a Hebrew slave. Consumed by righteous anger, Moses struck down the Egyptian and buried his body in the sand. This act of defiance forced Moses to flee Egypt to escape Pharaoh's wrath. Moses found refuge in the land of Midian, far from the reach of Egyptian authority. There he encountered Jethro, a Midianite priest, and his family. Jethro welcomed Moses into his home, and he soon married Jethro's daughter, Zipporah. Moses settled into a new life as a shepherd, tending to flocks in the rugged wilderness. It was a life of simplicity and hard work, a far cry from the opulence of the Egyptian court, but one that brought him a deep sense of peace and reflection. One day, as Moses was tending his sheep near Mount Horeb, he noticed a bush that was engulfed in flames yet not consumed by the fire. Curious and captivated, Moses approached the bush. From within the flames, he heard the voice of God calling his name. This divine encounter changed the course of his life forever. God revealed to Moses that he had been chosen to lead the Israelites out of their bondage in Egypt and into a land flowing with milk and honey, the Promised Land. Despite the enormity of the task, Moses hesitated. He felt unworthy and feared that he lacked the eloquence and authority needed for such a monumental mission. But God reassured him, promising to be with him every step of the way. Strengthened by this divine assurance, Moses set out for Egypt, with his brother Aaron as his spokesperson. Back in Egypt, Moses confronted the Pharaoh, demanding the release of the Israelites. Pharaoh, hardened and unyielding, scoffed at Moses' demands and increased the Israelites' burdens instead. This began a dramatic series of confrontations between Moses and Pharaoh, with Moses warning of dire consequences if Pharaoh continued to refuse. Each refusal led to a devastating plague, each one a testament to the power of the God of Israel. The plagues were catastrophic. The Nile turned to blood, swarms of frogs, gnats, and flies tormented the Egyptians, livestock perished, boils afflicted the people, hail destroyed crops, locusts consumed what was left, and darkness shrouded the land. Despite the mounting devastation, Pharaoh's heart remained hardened. It wasn't until the final, most grievous plague, the death of every firstborn son in Egypt, that Pharaoh's resolve was shattered. In a night of mourning and despair, Pharaoh finally relented and allowed the Israelites to leave. Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt, their departure hastened by the urgency of the moment. They journeyed towards the Red Sea, but Pharaoh, in a change of heart, sent his army in pursuit. Trapped between the sea and the approaching army, the Israelites despaired. But Moses, in a profound act of faith, stretched out his hand over the waters, and the Red Sea parted, allowing the Israelites to cross on dry land. When the Egyptian army attempted to follow, the waters returned, engulfing them and securing the Israelites' escape. The journey to the Promised Land was long and arduous, marked by trials and tribulations. The Israelites often grumbled and lost faith, but Moses remained steadfast, guiding them with a blend of firmness and compassion. At Mount Sinai, Moses ascended the mountain to receive the 10 Commandments, divine laws that would form the bedrock of Israelite society. This moment solidified Moses' role not just as a leader, but as a lawgiver and prophet. Despite his unwavering dedication, Moses was not to enter the Promised Land himself. As the Israelites stood at the threshold of Canaan, Moses delivered a final speech, reminding them of their covenant with God and urging them to remain faithful. He then ascended Mount Nebo, where he gazed upon the Promised Land before passing away, his mission complete. While concluding the video, I remind you to please like, share, and comment on the video, and subscribe the channel. Moses' legacy endured far beyond his lifetime. He is remembered not only as a liberator who led his people out of bondage, but also as a beacon of faith, justice, and humility. His story, rich with divine encounters, moral lessons, and human perseverance, continues to inspire generations, embodying the eternal struggle for freedom and justice in the face of tyranny. The tale of Moses is a testament to the extraordinary impact one individual can have when guided by faith and a resolute sense of purpose. Thank you for watching.